Hi, welcome. In this video, I'd like to discuss the issue of remote collars as it relates to bringing a stress load onto a dog. And again, this is where through balanced dog training, what you'll see is a lot of trainers who will pivot heavily off of using remote collars, or what people will define as shock collars. And they're their kind of go-to tool. But the thing to really understand here, again, when you're looking at, and this is why I don't pivot off certain devices that way, is because it's about, how things align when it comes to creating relationship change with dogs, or it making sense to dogs in a way that's not just going to, create relationship change, but it's going to avoid, these situations that can put enormous stress onto a dog when things don't line up properly. Now, the issue of not lining up properly, again, just understand it's about advocating through a process correctly. So typically what will happen here through, using devices such as remote collars, and this is, what balanced dog trainers will do, is they're going to use certain tools that are defined as adversive, okay, which means that they will manifest influence onto the dog. At the same time, the balanced dog trainers also come into agreement with approaching training as a learning-based exercise. Okay, so you have a couple things happening here at the same time when a dog and owner is stepping into a process where the dog has already gained a level of control in the relationship with the owner. So then from there, what the balanced dog trainer will do, immediately they'll start to, put that remote collar on the dog. Okay, and start to bring a dog under influence. But the problem here, again, understand that, everything connects, everything aligns. Dogs are social relational animals. So whether it's using a crate, whether it's using a device, everything has to make sense to the dog in terms of the person changing. Okay, so what'll happen here, and this can be a major problem with those who use remote collars, is that when the owner is not changing at the level that they need to change, the dog is already holding a tremendous amount of control in the relationship, and you start to advocate through a remote collar, which is basically pushing a button, okay, what'll happen is the dog will start to say, this isn't making sense. This person is still thinking the same way. And what'll happen is the dog is not making the connection from that device, reconciling that device from them, what's happening, to that owner. And what happens, the dog will start to get stressed out. The dog will start to say, this is making sense. Because it is about everything aligning properly. And then again, so when I strip everything away and we'll advocate, okay, a flat collar, a standard leash, okay, and interaction based, what that does is it aligns properly. It basically forces the person to think different, okay, and not even using commands. So it's all about how influence intersects the process. The interactions are specific to change, and it makes sense to the dog, okay? Because again, it's lining up properly. But when you're using a remote collar, the way that, again, the majority of balanced dog trainers will use it, at the same time, they come into agreement with this learning narrative, which for a dog, okay, how, based on what it advocates to motivating a dog to respond, it's not interaction based, okay? So it's all about, having a dog to respond, but assuming that response represents a like-minded state. So based on its superficial application, it allows dogs to hold control from how it's applied. And then add on top of it, using a remote collar, okay, to try to gain control, influence over a dog. And again, because of, it's like a gap that's happening, in the method, it's not, aligning properly. It can cause a enormous stress onto a dog, and this is why people will see the dog really start to react to it. People wonder what's going on. Is there something wrong with the dog? No, it's something wrong with the process. Okay, the fact is, you need to understand the process itself has to take the right form. This is why a lot of these trainers you'll see when they start to advocate or pivot heavily off these devices such as remote collars, even prong collars. What happens is, when the owner goes home with the dog, they can never get that device off the dog. They feel like, they have control. They always have to have the device. And so what happens is you still get control issues. You still have a relationship problem going on. Because, it's called device awareness. Okay, that dog is very aware that device is on or off. When that device is off, Again, you got behavioral problems happening. That device is on. It appears like you have some control, but you really don't. Okay, it's all, everything is centered on that device. So again, we're really encouraged to think about that when it comes to using certain devices. You need to strip everything down to a foundational level. You need to advocate properly through, a relationship changing process, which is interaction based. So that's what makes the system training really, really special. So if you use a certain tool such as a remote collar as a secondary tool, which can be used, say, for a specific person, a specific purpose, such as a dog barking or expressing a high state even within the crate, what happens is it makes sense to the dog, and then it's on vibration, and the dog's mind is more receptive to it because the dog's saying, okay, based on what's being advocated through the method, okay, at a interaction based level, the dog's saying, this makes perfect sense. The owner's changing, the device is lining up, and then what happens is the devices can fade out, crates can fade away, and you don't have to use tools the same way at all, because again, what happens is the person fades into the picture and everything moves along as it should. So again, I encourage you, if you're looking for answers, check out my website. I talk about these issues, my videos, lots of great videos to help you understand the relationship side of things. So thanks for watching.